Good morning, Road Atlanta. John Naderi here with the Global Time Attack as part of the Drift Atlanta weekend. Special thanks to everybody from Road Atlanta and as well to Formula Drift for hosting us this weekend. We're bringing you real Japanese-style time attack, one car against the clock, and we see on our live stream there, it looks like producer Nolan is in the building. Producer Nolan, on top of the World Racing Rig, will be shooting this for our globaltimeattack.com live stream, and we're also showing you all the action live on the track. If you're here at Road Atlanta and you're hearing my voice, get down to the front straight paddock. You could see on the hot pit lane all the teams lining up. I'm seeing, looks like Todd Reed in the Reed Speed Fortunato Limited front wheel drive Civic. Hey, Jason Deanhart, I'm seeing him too. We're also seeing, it looks like Austin Cabot there in the Deft Motion S2000. And then that blue car is Vince Spadea in the Zen Motors IS300, third on the grid. I'm having a hard time seeing. I think that's Brian Hedian in the Wired Racing S2000. All the Buddy Club stuff on that car. These cars are highly modified. We have 9 different classes, divided up amongst 3 drivetrains and 3 levels of modification: street, limited, and unlimited. Looks like they're sending the cars out now. We're showing Austin Cabot there lined up, sending him out. I believe that's Mike on the grid, running the show, keeping us honest here. Sending out Vince Spadea's going out. Now we show Brian Hedian getting ready to go out. We get a 10 count between cars. We want to give these guys enough spacing so that they could run record times. Looks like Billy Allward in the buybrakes.com CRX now. And then Matthew Bruick in the iTrack Motors Mazda Miata. This looks like Brandon Connolly in the Battleground Motorsports Evo 8. We see Tony Circa on the grid, keeping everybody honest too. Hi, Tony. Good morning, Tony. This looks like Kevin Parlett in the Unlimited rear-wheel drive G35, leaving the grid right now. Actually, we're holding on Kevin Parlett. He's going to be in the second half of this run group. We divide our run group up. This is a 30-minute run session. First 15-minute sessions dedicated to the core run group, and then we allow everybody on track for the next 15 minutes. As soon as the guys come around the track here, we're going to have a live timing and scoring kicking in. Yesterday, we had some amazing times, led by, in all classes, Jeff Westphal in the GST Motorsports Subaru Impreza 124 357, very fast around this track. He's followed in Unlimited all-wheel drive by Phil Grabow in the Element Tuning Subaru STI 131 586. Unfortunately, Phil lost his radiator and did some damage to his engine, so he will not be running today. As we see Todd Reed in the Reed Speed Civic coming across for his first flyer, getting the green flag. Followed closely by Vince Spadea in the IS300, the Zen Motors car. He's coming across. And Austin Cabot right behind them. Those two are competing in street rear-wheel drive. Austin Cabot leading that class with a 143 465. That is currently a time attack class record right now. Vince Spadea right behind with a 145 112. Dan Kang from Zen Motors telling me earlier that the team had the issues with the car yesterday and they have it ironed out. So he thinks Vince might be able to find that second and a half he needs. Coming down off of turn 12 here. Looks like we see, this is Matthew Bruick in the iTrack Motorsports Miata. He is currently in 4th place in street rear-wheel drive with a 152 881. He's about 4 seconds off of Brian Hedian, the Wired Race Team S2000. Brian having never been on this track before, but the S2000 having just a little bit more power than that Miata. Brandon Connolly coming across the start-finish line. Brandon Connolly in street all-wheel drive. He's also in our Synergy Turbo True Street Contingency class. Brandon Connolly currently in 3rd place in street all-wheel drive with a 213 154. He's going to have to go much faster than that. Maybe go up a gear or hit the throttle more, or hit the brakes less, or a combination of all three. As we see Todd Reed coming across, this should be his first time lap. We're going to kick on the timing and scoring for you and let you know what all the times we're showing. Todd Reed running a 1:39.013, improving on his time. Todd Reed improving on his time, still in second behind Joe Ippolito. Showing, seeing Zen Motors and Austin Cabot coming across in the S2000. Looks like Brian Hedian coming into turn one, Wired Race Team S2000. Brian Hedian doing a 1:47.418. He's improving on his time, chipping away at Vince Spadea. Vince Spadea running a 1:44.224. He's improving on his time. Everybody's catching up here with Austin Cabot here with his 1:43.464 that he set yesterday. Cabot unable to improve with a 1:44.582. Billy Allward doing a 1:49.863. I believe that CRX has a K-Series swap in it, as it looks like Brandon Connolly giving way for Todd Reed in the Reed Speed Civic. Todd Reed 1:38.909. Todd Reed finding some time there, creeping up on Joe Ippolito in the 2J Racing Nissan Sentra. Joe Ippolito leading that class, set yesterday in our fourth session, 1:37.113. Todd Reed improving with a 1:38.909, improving on his 1:39 that he set yesterday. Austin Cabot with a 1:42.518. All times count for all sessions here at the Global Time Attack. We have 8 sessions total, about 3 hours of total time attack going on. Brian Hedian coming across the line again. 1:45.587 for Brian Hedian. Brian Hedian improving. He's sitting right on top of Vince Spadea right now. Vince Spadea with a 1:44.2. He's improving too. Billy Allward comes across with a 1:47.825. Billy Allward improving off of his fourth session time. The beauty of time attack is that in the morning sessions when the track is cooler, the ambient temperature is cooler, while it does take the tires a little while longer to heat up to temp, the cars do run much faster in this cool weather. A lot of the drivers saying these are the sessions where they're going to set their fast times. We're going to have 4 sessions total today, and we're going to end right at 1:30. We're going to have a podium ceremony right at the front straight here, and then we're going to get right into some drifting too. And we're also out here this weekend. We see the F2000 guys racing and the Formula Atlantic guys racing. That's really exciting. Wheel-to-wheel racing with true open-wheel cars. Oh my goodness, nothing's happening on the track, so I'm going to tell you guys what I had for breakfast this morning. I had a really nice Waffle House breakfast, had some bacon, sausage, felt good. As we see Todd Reed coming across the start-finish line here, 1:59.191, definitely off pace on that one. Austin Cabot coming across with a 1:43.303. Austin Cabot improving, continuing to push forward the street rear-wheel drive. Austin Cabot in that Def Motion 2005 Honda Civic. Going to say what up to Drew from Def Motion. Brian Hedian coming across with a 1:47.484. Hedian's fast lap is a 1:45.887. Definitely improved on his time yesterday. Brian Hedian coming all the way down from New Jersey. Billy Allward in the buybrakes.com CRX. 1:47.090. Definitely improved on his time. Billy Allward's got a lot of time to make up. Win Supangsang in the Papaya Motorsports Civic is sitting in third place with a 1:41.593. I do not know if he's out in this session or not. He might be in the second half of this group.
Yes, I don't have any other. Now, you may have to press on that
Coming into turn 12, that's Matthew Bruick in the iTrack Motorsports Miata. Coming across start-finish line. Bruick with a 1:53.207. That is his best time in the session. Not good enough for his third session yesterday where he ran a 1:52.881, currently sitting in third place. Luke Crow from Formula Drift Garage Dread. Mr. Formula Dread himself is running a 2013 Chevy Camaro, but he is not out for this early session. The FD guys were running late into the night last night. Saw Tony Angelo. He's working on getting his car fixed. I believe he qualified in, mid-20s. Top qualifier, Mike Essa with the GSR Motorsports Z4, representing the Roundel for the BMW fans. And I believe he had a 96-mile-per-hour entry into turn 10, where Chris Rado this weekend is going to try to go 200 miles an hour. He had a big off yesterday, 175 miles an hour. Cut a tire with some debris on the track. Jeff Westphal at GST Motorsports also cut a tire around the same corner, so a little bit of an issue with debris on the track yesterday. No fault, however, of the Road Atlanta staff. Probably one of our GTA cars falling apart on the track. Billy Allward coming into the pits right now. Seeing Billy Allward coming into the hot pit lane. Billy Allward in the Buy Brakes CRX. I believe he's in fourth place in limited front-wheel drive. 1:48.439 was his best time yesterday. I do not know if he improved in that. He did. 1:47.090. Good job, Billy. Still has a few seconds to make up. We see a lot of the cars on the grid right now. I see Jacob Tanaka in the Tanaka Racing Corvette. That looks like Dave Norton in the Spec Clutches S14. Seeing some of the times here. Todd Reed with a 1:38.909. Austin Cabot with a 1:42.136. Vince Spadea with a 1:44.224. Brian Hedian with a 1:45.887. Joe Ippolito, too, out in here in this first session as well, too. That looks like Todd Reed in the Reed Speed Civic. He's just putting laps down here. Todd Reed winning a 1:38.183. Definitely improving, creeping up on Joe Ippolito ever so slightly. Every lap he's chipping away at it. Todd Reed saying he's learning this course. It's a very difficult course. 2.54 miles, 12 turns. Talking to Jeff Westphal yesterday, said there's essentially 3 corners where you enter blind. That sounds like what I looked like last night after too many drinks. Looks like we have Brian Hedian here in the Wired Race Team S2000, that Buddy Club S2000 coming across the start-finish line. Brian Hedian with a 1:49.159. His best lap at 1:45.887. Really moving for a street class rear-wheel drive car.
Good job, thank you. Going to 2.
We'll be live streaming online starting at 11:30 this morning. We'll have interviews in the paddock, setting everything up for Formula Drift. Running, they start their first practice, I believe, at 2 p.m. As we see Brandon Connolly in the Battleground Motorsports Evo 8 coming into turn 1. He's got the wing delete on that one. Probably remove the wing to improve on the speed here. You don't need as much downforce. If you're in the paddock right now, you have a chance to go see Chris Rado's car. That car has more wings than the Air Force. It's created for a lot of downforce. You're trying to improve downforce on these cars. This not being a downforce track, it's more of a speed track though. But you want that trade-off. Matthew Bruick in the iTrack Motorsports Mazda Miata. Looks like coming around 12 here we have Joe Ippolito. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Win Sepang Song in the Papaya Motorsports EK Civic. I confused the Sentra with a Civic, yes, folks. Win Sepang Song in limited front-wheel drive. He's currently in third place with a 1:41.593, seeing if he can improve. This looks like Todd Reed in the Reed Speed Fortune Auto Civic coming into the pit lane right now. He could be done for this session. We have about 15 minutes left in this session, a little before 9 a.m. We're going to go till 9:15. Then I believe we're going to have some F2000 or Formula Atlantic on the track immediately following our global time attack sessions.
Yeah, you know you're in.
Right now we also have Doug Wind, who registered yesterday in street front-wheel drive. He did not compete yesterday. He was up all night for the last 2 nights preparing the car for the event. Modern Automotive Performance, SRT4. Excited to see what Doug Wind can do around Road Atlanta. Showing right now, you can see some of the, on the paddock, we could see Dave Norton with the Spec Clutch 240, Daniel O'Donnell from Professional Awesome, Evo 7, and we have Joe Ippolito in the 2J Racing, Nissan Sentra, and Jacob Tanaka in the Tanaka Racing Corvette, limited rear-wheel drive. Jacob Tanaka is looking at chasing Dave Norton there. And I believe immediately behind Jacob Tanaka, that could have been Aaron Byram in the Pure Tuning EK Civic. Beautiful, beautiful Civic. He's in unlimited front-wheel drive trying to compete against Chris Rado's Spaceship, that Scion TC with 1,000 horsepower. Big off. Congratulations and special thanks to the guys from the World Racing Crew for hustling late into the night and early this morning to get that car back on track. I want to thank some of our sponsors too. Synergy Turbo, White Line, Turbo by Garrett, Mother's Polishes, Meister Watches, Descendant Racing, Replay XD Cameras.
There's a car coming through. I'm going to go to 2. You're out now.
Brian Hedian still trying to chip away there, trying to get into that second spot, chasing Vince Spadea in the Zen Motors Lexus IS 300. Both Vince and Brian went faster. They're pushing on Austin Cabot. Austin Cabot also went faster this morning too. Austin Cabot going 142, 136. I believe he continues to lead in street rear-wheel drive. We're going to have all the times up on globaltimeattack.com immediately following the session. We'll also have him in the paddock in the GTA booth. You can come see the lovely Miss Amanda Gift in the GTA booth today. Showing some of the times here, we got Todd Reed with a 138, 183. Austin Cabot with a 142, 136. Win Sepang Song with a 143, 897. Vince Spadea with a 144, 224. Brian Hedian with a 145, 887. Billy Allward with a 147, 090. Matthew Bruick with a 151, 962. And Jacob Tanaka still to come on the track. And it looks like they're leading out the second half of this group, and that looks like I saw Jared Stoops coming out. He ran very, very fast yesterday. That's a 997 Carrera GT3. It's a cup car, but it's not an actual cup car. It's a conversion to a cup car. Jared Stoops, I believe he ran the second fastest time yesterday in unlimited rear-wheel drive with a 128.676. One of only 2 cars to dip into the 128s, I believe. And we have Jeff Westphal leading all teams with a 124.357. I'm surrounded by greatness here up in the tower, and I'm not talking about the aura that I'm giving off after a late night last night. I have Jeff Westphal from GST Motorsports is actually in here. He should be on the track right now, but maybe he got confused and he wants to come up here in the booth. How you doing this morning, Jeff?
Pretty good, pretty good.
You set the fastest time yesterday. I was just talking about that 124.3, I believe. Very, very fast. Do you guys think you'll have more time in the car today?
I think so. We're excited to get out in this cold weather, just trying to prep the car and make sure all the bases are covered and see if we can squeeze some more out of it.
Yeah, now you were saying the car feels good. You guys made a lot of changes yesterday, but you're saying even you, with as fast as you're going, you're still struggling to learn this track. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a couple spots where I don't feel 100% confident. It's pretty close, you know, it's within a small margin of error, but I'd like it to be a bit more crisp. That way I could lean on the car just a tiny bit more. I think that one spot in particular, if we get it right, that's where most of the time will come from.
Excellent, excellent. Now, you guys made a change this year. You were running a DOT tire last year, and you're actually on a purpose-built, the Continental Motorsports Slick. How did that change the effect of the way the car's set up for you guys?
You know, to be honest, that's part of the evolution we're dealing with right now, is that when you set a car up for a certain tire and you swap to another one and you have a different sidewall, and I mean, to be honest, we're starting from scratch to get it right.
Now, are we going to see you guys at the next round at West Palm Beach? Are you going to plan to make it out to that event?
Yeah, I think so.
I know your team principal, Mike Warfield, always likes to make a lot of changes, but he's on the World Racing rig, which I believe is staying out here on the East Coast. That's probably got to stress him out a little bit.
I don't know how that's going to deal.
Yeah, I know. Poor Mike Warfield. He likes to get the car back and pretty much take it all apart and put it back together between each round. So we're grateful that you guys are kind of getting on the tour bus and staying out here on the East Coast with us.
No, it's definitely the tour bus route for the East Coast, and I'm looking forward to getting to some new tracks and keep running this car, because every time we run it, we make it a bit more precise. So it's only going to get faster.
Yeah, you guys hold the overall track record at quite a few tracks. Many of them with us at Global Time Attack. You ran at every race with us, set a class record at 3 of the 4 events, set an overall record at 2 of the 4 events. We're the fastest overall at 3 of the 4 events. You were fastest overall at our first event. You get a Meister watch pretty much, but you lost out to one of the guys who's here this weekend at Infineon, your home track. You and Tyler McQuarrie were going back and forth. Tyler's here. He's probably still sleeping right now because the FD guys aren't going out. He'll be going out in that GoPro Mobile 1 Camaro later. That's got to be a bitter grudge match because you guys worked together. You guys were on a Grand Am team together. And how does that feel to be out here with Tyler?
It's pretty cool. You know, we have a long history together working with each other in motorsports and in coaching at the racing school at Infineon in Sonoma. So it's a bit of a water cooler banter thing between us. But that being said, it's, you know, anytime there's one of your buddies out here, it just makes it that much more fun.
Yeah, we would have liked to seen Tyler do double duty. I know he was trying to do it with the FX Motorsports Development, NSX, between your GST car, World Racing, and the FX car. You guys have a front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, crazy unlimited rivalry going on right now, correct?
Yeah, we do. That FX car's got quite a bit of aero development, so I think that's probably leading the way as far as the time attack Paddock is concerned with Andrew Brilliant's work and the history that he has in IndyCar and Super GT, and he's bringing a lot of knowledge to this community, which is great for the community itself. You know, I think that if you're running time attack and you're wondering, how do I get a little bit more grip out of my car in the high-speed corners, you take that car as an example. And we've done parts of that as well, working with Andrew on various components of our car, not to the level that FX has, but you can definitely look at that car for ideas.
Yeah, I noticed when you say it's great for the community as a whole, time attack is somewhat different from most motorsports, and drifting to the same exact extent, is that a lot of the teams share information and drivers seem to be helping each other, and you want everyone to do as well as possible. When you get on the track, obviously the times matter, but you guys don't seem to shy away from sharing information with other teams and sort of helping people with setup, and you help drivers quite a bit. Is that different from most of the other motorsports you've done, like say Grand Am or something like that? Yeah,
absolutely. It's a pretty open-minded deal here. It's very you could call it grassroots. It's just friendly, you know. And in the other series, it's so much more of a business, and there's a lot of politics involved, and who said this, and this guy gave us a bad motor, but this team a good motor, and you know, it just gets really messy in that regard. So the openness with ideas and setups is completely non-existent in the Grand Am and the ALMS and that level.
Yeah, it seems a lot of the, I don't want to say spec series, but where the cars are closely regulated, everybody's trying for each little tenth, so setup is so much more important in those cars, where these cars are so wildly different between the two. Everybody has a completely different setup, so as long as you can help with overall racecraft, I think that's where people are sort of helping each other between teams, correct?
Yeah, you know, I think you have a lot of dollars are spent engineering the cars to be that extra % better, to give them the advantage. So I mean, you might have a little bit of information sharing between drivers, but it's not going to be anything related. It's kind of what we call, I don't even know how to put this. There's like an unspoken rule that you just don't speak about exactly what's happening. If someone's like, oh, how's the car? And it's great. You're like, it's okay. You know, we got to work on this, that, and the other. And so it's different feeling coming to an event like this. It's refreshing.
Very good. Well, will we see you out in the second session this morning?
I hope so.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. Jeff Westphal, driver of the GST Motorsports Subaru Impreza and fastest driver of the weekend. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you.
So Jeff Westphal joining us in the paddock, but what we have right now is we have drivers on track right now. This is the second part of our session. I'm seeing Dave Norton come down the front straight in the spec clutches 240. Jacob Tanaka coming very fast around Doug Wind around 12 there. Doug Wind, Joe Ippolito. Doug Wind in street front-wheel drive. Joe Ippolito in limited class front-wheel drive. Looks like we are not showing up any scores from Jacob Tanaka. Not sure if timing and scoring is aware of that, or if that might be our thing in our booth. He might have his transponder might not be working. Message to the people in the paddock, everybody on grid, Jacob Tanaka is not showing any scores up here, not in timing and scoring, but up here in our live stream feed. Aaron Byram in that pure tuning Honda Civic. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. Really well fabricated car. Aaron running with us at our Autobahn Country Club event last year, actually giant slaying Chris Rado as we see Jared Stoops coming into the paddock right now, coming into the pits. Win Sepang Song coming across in the Papaya Motorsports Honda Civic with a 149.403. His best lap, a 138.862. Very fast for Win. He improving on his time. If all else stays the same, I believe he has passed Todd Reed and put himself into second place into limited front-wheel drive. Got to confirm Todd's times. No, he has not. Todd Reed going 138, 183. Everybody improving. Great conditions right now this morning. This is wonderful for time attack. Good stuff for us. The cool air, no sun, no mosquitoes, no humidity. I hate the humidity. And it looks like Jacob Tanaka getting the black flag to let him know that his transponder is not pinging. That could be potentially.
It's coming, but it's not pinging scores.
Or he could be getting the black flag because the starter is a huge Henry Rollins fan. Any old school punk rockers out there? No? Hello? Anyone? Is this thing on? Matthew Brewitt coming across start-finish line in the iTrack Motorsports Mazda Miata. And it looks like we see coming into the pits, can't make out which car that is. That could be Aaron Byram in the Pure Tuning Civic coming into the hot pit lane. Win Sepang Song coming across start-finish line right now. Win in the standings currently in third place in limited front-wheel drive in the Papaya Motorsports Civic. Daniel O'Donnell in the Professional Awesome Evo 7 coming across start-finish line. Daniel O'Donnell leading all players in street all-wheel drive. Daniel O'Donnell and crew, fastest lap today, 134.036. Improving slightly over his 134.959. I mean, when we talk tenths count, hundreds count here in time attack. We've had cars separated by 4 100ths, I believe, at Buttonwillow and at some cases. Showing on our monitor, there's our global time attack booth right here in the south side of the paddock, right on the inside of turn 1. All of our teams are there. The teams are very open. If you're here in the paddock, please feel free to come by and see all the teams. They're very open about talking about their setups, what they've done to the cars. Very wildly modified. You see Dave Norton's spec clutches, 240 SX's gorgeous 95 240 S14 chassis, beautiful car. Dave Harry's also out here in the S-Max Performance S14. Jacob Tanaka coming in. Hopefully they're going to check his transponder, make sure he's pinging properly. I don't ping properly, but Jacob Tanaka, or hopefully he will. As we see Joe Ippolito in the Nissan Sentra, the 2J Racing Nissan Sentra leading all comers in limited front-wheel drive. And I'm looking across the paddock right now from timing and scoring, and the beast is emerging from within. Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s Monster Energy, Falcon Tire, DC Shoes, machine. He has a new livery this year, the 2010 champ. There's a crowd around that car being unloaded from the trailer. Not sure where Vaughn qualified last night, but excited to see him run here at Atlanta.
That's money right there, Doug.
He had a dream season last year, just taking 6 out of 7 podiums. I mean, just a monster season. See how I worked the Monster Energy drink in there? Love the wheels on those HREs, those HREs on there. Running those Falcon RT 615Ks, beautiful car. Big ups to everybody from Falcon Tire. Want to see those guys in time attack here. Jared Stoops coming across start-finish line. AMI Racing, GT3 Carrera. We're talking in the paddock. There's quite a few drivers who want to try their hand at drifting. Quite a few who have. Luc Lamberger in the Blue 808 Corvette ran at our Infineon event last year. Tyler McQuarrie, very accomplished driver in time attack. He's running in that Mobil 1 GoPro Camaro. I believe he's on Yokohama tires, which is a good fit because the FX Motorsports NSX is also on Yokohama tires. Woo, Whit Staples getting all of that around there. Whit's really coming across that start-finish line. What time do we have for Whit Staples? 1:30, 2:93. Whit improving on the 1:31, 8:87 that he set yesterday. He lost a oil line to his dry sump and just smoked out the front straight and dropped oil all over the front straight. So apologies to everyone here at Road Atlanta for us coming in and just ruining your track. But the Road Atlanta track staff got the track cleaned up for the next session. No problems whatsoever with that. We'll send you a bill, Whit. Whit running very well today in that 130, trying to dip into the 129s.
Going to 2.
That also puts him past Phil Grabow, too. It puts him into second place in unlimited all-wheel drive. Creeping up ever so slowly on Jeff Westphal in the GST Motorsports, but he'll have about 6 more seconds to go. I think if he shortcuts the track somewhere, that might be a good place to make it up. I'm not sure if that's legal or not. We'd have to check with Tony Circa, our tech steward. Seeing Jacob Tanaka right now coming into the hot pit lane. There's Garrett. It's going to come over the wall. He's going to leap with jungle-like reflexes. Or he could crawl over. That's a good way to do it, too. Garrett coming over the wall, checking the tires, making sure everything's right. I believe we saw Dave Norton in the Spec Clutch 240SX, that F14 car. Gorgeous, gorgeous car. He's on the Toyo Proxys R888 tire in limited rear-wheel drive, leading all comers. He has a 130, that's Daniel O'Donnell with a 134.959. He has a 134.654. I'm not sure if he improved on that one or not. As we see Jacob Tanaka, looks like Jacob Tanaka is going to go behind the wall. And our own Jason Dienhart on the paddock right now on the pit lane. Tony Circa, Jason Dienhart. Mike on the grid. And we're getting the checkered flag on this session. This will conclude our first session here at Global Time Attack. I believe we're going to have some F2000 or possibly Formula Atlantic coming up immediately following this session. Our next session is going to be at 10:15 to 10:45. So we will be back on track at 10:15 to 10:45. We will have all the scores up on globaltimeattack.com. You could also see the scores at the GTA table in our big black booth right next to Chris Rado's Monster World Racing rig over there. Matthew Brooks, fastest lap showing 1:59.83. Matthew Brook improving on his time yesterday in the iTrack Motorsports 1990 Mazda Miata. But Brian Hedian and Vince Spadea also improving, so all drivers in street rear-wheel drive pushing down. Jeff Westphal telling me how to do my job. Don't tell me how to do my job, Westphal, but telling me that Daniel O'Donnell dipped into the 133s, so that's huge of him. So he improved on his time yesterday. Tony Wiesenhahn, his best time, 137.276. He's going to need to do some work. He set that in the fourth session yesterday. Showing some of the times here. Jared Stoops with a 128.980, improving, I believe, on yesterday. Whit Staples with a 132.93, very, very fast. Daniel O'Donnell, Jeff Westphal is correct, 133.354. Kevin Parlett with a 134.348. Dave Norton with a 134.674. And Joe Ippolito, limited front-wheel drive with a 136.309. Aaron Byram in an unlimited front-wheel drive, 137.320. I believe he's in first place in unlimited rear-wheel drive, so Chris Rado's going to have to get his spaceship out, the World Racing Scion TC, and see if he can get past Aaron Byram and win Sepang Song with a 137.687. As I said, we'll have all the times up on globaltimeattack.com, and as well we'll have them at the GTA Tower on the south side of the paddock. On behalf of everybody at Global Time Attack, thank you very much for coming out to Road Atlanta to watch true Japanese-style time attack. Again, our next session is going to be out at 10:15 to 10:45. And we'll have 2 more sessions following that, right before we get going with some drifting. Now let's watch some F2000 or Formula Atlantic stuff. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you soon.